Hey there, YouTube friends. Masked Bandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. And welcome back to Conifer Slopes. We are going to be taking a look at one of my good friends' project in the park today, where Redline has gotten his work done. But I do want to just show everyone a reminder of where we left off last time. So we were working on our spooky Fey forest area here. We did some work. We added some forest. We added an awesome restaurant, and we added this flat ride here with intention to do some of this. Oop, you didn't see that, and you didn't see that, and you didn't see that, and you definitely didn't see any of that. Oops. Teehee. So, I think it was in the last video too, intentionally, but shh, you didn't hear it, you didn't see it, it's not me. Anyway, teacups on the agenda for today, filling out this area. We're gonna do something special over here, and then we're gonna do all that. But what I want to focus on today is this area here. I asked a while ago, what should we put here? And Redline asked me a couple weeks ago, did you do anything yet? And I said, no. And he said, well, what about a car ride? And I said, hey, if you'd like to do a car ride, be my guest, bud. So he did a car ride. He's changed this out. He made some improvements. Unfortunately, he's not able to join me today on the recording. So we will just take a look at what he did in this area. It's a beautiful car ride. Let's take a look at Redline's contributions, this time to Conifer Slopes. You know, it's funny because we just had this view, and now obviously with the car ride in, it looks amazing. But the first thing I noticed is that I know he said he moved the scrambler and redid it, but it looks so natural, as if it had been there the whole time. I can barely notice the difference aside from that it just looks nicer. So let's get into peep level here, and let's take a look at this. So this is Redline's work. Swirly Whirly has had a queue change, and look at this, just simple basic. We love to see it. Look at the cars. Ooh, he asked me if I wanted the sport or the antique. I said Brad's the Square had the sport cars, so let's roll with the antique cars. That feels better for Conifer anyway. And is another like old ride, we could say, has survived the wrecking ball. Like Hawk is relatively new to GCI, but what we're getting from Nitro, that thing that you didn't see that wasn't there, that's supposed to be an older, part of the park. So hopefully this will feel like an older part of the park as well. Look, he redid the brick. This is beautiful. What is this? Is this in-game brick? Probably not, if I had to guess. What is this? Silent Members brick. Bro Nation mod and bro Silent Member. This is his TMTK brick set, which is amazing. And obviously it looks nicer than the in-game brick. So he cleaned this up for us, and if that just doesn't look spectacular, very crisp, very neat, very clean. I like it a lot. I really do. Good job, Redline. Big fan, big fan. And he didn't do much with this. He did a planter, just a little bit here. And so we have our Conifer Cruisers. I like the simplicity. Again, this is meant to kind of feel like an older established ride, and I think he really did a good job with that, with the station here. Just a simple cover. It looks like we have an extra bit of pad over here for, well, I don't know, whatever. Oh, there's a refueling. That's cool. Little details. I haven't given this too much look, so we're going to have just a nice, easy queue here. I guarantee you this is going to be absolutely slammed. These car rides always attract a ton of people. So I think we'll do a POV of the car ride at the end of the episode. That'll be cute. Give us something to look forward to. But let's just take a quick glance. Just some simple gardens. Look at that. The CS, the Conifer Slopes in the background, the white and the purple. Love it. Love the daisies along the edge here with all the mulch. Man, I love this. This is really good. He was nervous because planting isn't gardening isn't his necessarily forte, but I think you did a stand-up job there, Redline. I really enjoy it. I love this simple bridge. Look at this. And it goes back. You get some great views of the coaster with the don't die fencing. That'd be pretty thrilling, wouldn't it? See the coaster come by as you're riding on your car ride. That's nice. And it's a little more rustic back here. We have this little bridge. That's cute. I like that a lot. I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it or not when he suggested it, but I really look at that. Look at the detail here on the supports of the bridge. I think that's spectacular. It's a simple thing, but it goes a long, long way into making it just feel real, And we've got these beautiful in-game lamps here as we go up and over the bridge. Nice view of another beautiful view of the coaster here. Just fantastic. We come back down and around. Look at this. under the bridge again, back around. And we have another custom scenery item, prepare to stop. Another, I think Silent Member made this as well. They made this prepare to stop sign for us, and that's fantastic. And that's a view and a half. Look at that. That's beautiful. We have our stop sign here. You stop and you wait for your clearance to come into the station. I think that's so good. Love a good car. You know what? I think I'm coming around to car rides. They're not something that I ever did, but after obviously the one Mike did in No Name Landia, and then seeing, I did one in Brazos. As simple as it was really fun. And now this is just so good, and he really made great use of the space. Look at this now. Just such good use of this space. And so then all I had to do was come in and drop in the entrance sign over here. So the Hawk entrance now, you're going to point it over here. But there is a little bit of cleanup to do still. Some fencing and stuff maybe, just to make this a little bit better. And we do still have to doll up the queue itself. We have to put in some stuff around here to make this look better. We'll put in a cover here, because this is still really raw. I'll put it on the to-do list. But yeah, thank you so much, Redline. This is excellent. I am so pleased. Hopefully you live the car ride as well. And like I said at the end of the episode, we will get ourselves a POV of this. So make sure you stick around for that. Let's jump back over into the Feywild Forest now. So I had to flip it to night here to show you the entrance to this area, which my wife named. I asked for suggestions, and my wife suggested that we call it the Mourning Woods. And I thought that was perfect. So that's what we're going to name it. Yeah, we're gonna leave that one right there. Isn't that spectacular? Beware of the Mourning Woods. And we have the lovely glowing stuff there and the mushrooms. And I wanted to kind of look like a portal. Like if I could do some laser stuff, that'd be cool, but that seems a little over the top. The idea is you step through the portal into the Feywild. That's kind of the idea. Oh, I've also went ahead and made a change based on your feedback. The hag sign is scooched over a little bit, and we've changed this now just to an enter sign. That way, that feels a lot better. I think you all were right. And then I can't remember who, apologies, I think it's someone from Bro Nation, did recommend that we take the smaller hag sign, because I did want to use it because Spike did such a fantastic job with it, and I wanted to put it over here. So now it's the hag sign is on the photo booth, and I think that looks really, really well. I think that looks really good. I think that's a nice place for it. Hopefully you agree. You think that does look better. I think that looks better. So there you go. Hag sign. Now we have it over by the photos too. But that's not what I really... The big idea here for this chunk of the sode is what's going on. Let's bring it over here. We are working on these teacups, right? And the teacups need a cover. And I'm going to absolutely go crazy because I've decided to do a custom cover. That's probably my most challenging custom cover. So I've come up with this shape. And the way these works, if you don't know, you build, you use a gridded piece, and if you've never used the dome technique, you get a gridded piece, and you highlight, and you build off of it, and you duplicate it, and then, well, that didn't come through, but you get the idea. And then what happens is you highlight the pieces that you want without the gridded piece, and when you do the move, they spin. They spin perfectly around the circle, and that is how you can make these wedge shapes. So that's what's going on here. So we have, this is my wedge frame. So this is my first step. And I really like it. I like the profile of it. It's very steep and it flares out and up. Almost like a canopy of like a tent or something, which is cool, but that's not the direction we're gonna go. And I got kind of crazy with the wooden details, trying to really play up that like gnarled wood, but in a much more, organized way, I suppose, but still make it look kind of funky and fey. So that's the vibe we're going with here. This is a bear. This is going to be an absolute beast, and it's going to be tons and tons and tons of pieces. So I'd like to show you, this is the bare bones. This was the first concept. And then what we're going to do is we're going to decorate this entire wedge. And then once the entire wedge is decorated, you just mass duplicate it. You mass duplicate the whole thing, send it over. Oops, not like that. You duplicate it. There you go. And then you highlight it all again and get rid of the gridded pieces. And then, look, you just doot. If you've never done this before, this is how you do it. And then you rotate it, and you have this perfectly formed wedge. So you can get an idea, like if we were to just put this over it, this is what it would look like. So you can see I did that. I've been testing it, and I was like, oh, I really like that. That's a good starting place. So that's our starting place. That's where we're going to go first. And now let's decorate this whole wedge and get it working for this teacup ride. And here you can see what the wedge looks like. It was kind of a bear, not gonna lie, because this central like rib here made this whole thing arched. And so what I ended up having to do was I downloaded Mineral's. By the way, if you're not watching Mineral on YouTube, you need to. He was the one who we did the bro trip, World of Steve. And you've probably seen him on RollerCoaster if you've watched RollerCoaster. He's currently doing Steve Town, and it's amazing, and you should do a search for it, and you should watch it because it's amazing. But anyway, he made a singular a singular shingle. So this is custom shingled, something that I don't like to do, but there was no way to get this shape without doing it. And you can see I got really confused and scared over here. So I cut it off, made it look like it had kind of been chopped off, and then I just did a green roof, which I think again helps with the whole vibes we got going on with the forest. Use these beams. I thought this was a really fun look for the front here, and these neon green, this super bright green for the lantern. I don't know, and I played with some lights. At nighttime, I think I like it. So it looks like this at nighttime. It's got that sickly green glow, which is kind of what I am enjoying quite a bit about the whole vibe. You can also see that I've changed the colors of the teacup ride to pretty psychedelic colors. That's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the story I'm trying to tell. It's a psychedelic tea. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just playing the game, y'all. So now I have this wedge. This wedge is 624 parts. We're going to multiply it 11 more times, and that's going to tell you. So it's going to be about a 7,000 part cover, which is insane, just insane. But I think it's going to look pretty good. So I'm going to bring you back once I've copied this and set it all up with everything going on. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at what it looks like once it's all completed. Alright, so we decided to get even more garish with the colors here and add neon pink to the mix. Kind of going off what we had with the witch with the green and the pink. We're just dialing it up a little bit here. We've absolutely forested the bejesus out of this. I've also tried to make the make it look like a smaller pad again, because this pad is huge. But unfortunately that leaves this huge area of undevelopable land. So I just made it sitting with its surroundings a bit. I think it's pretty good. I put a big old spider on top and a little couple spiders floating around. They don't move. This guy moves, I think once every minute it'll move. Oh, there it goes. What timing. Like I planned it. But anyway, the bigger idea here is what's going on with this cover. I'm happy with it. I think that perhaps I like it a lot and I'm going to keep it. But I learned a lot. Let's say I learned a lot for the next time I decide to do this, if I decide to do it again. Depending on what happens with Planet Coaster 2, if that's even a thing we're going to be able to do or not, or if we're going to have to do that. I have no idea what's going to happen with that game. But if we need to do things, domed roofs like that, I've learned a lot with this one. This is the first one I really went hard on. So I'm pleased with it. I think it looks good. It fits the vibe. I don't like that I can't get rid of these, and I can't recolor them. I wish these white arches and stuff would at least be recolorable, but they are not. That's a big bummer. I don't like that. But I'd like to show it to you at night, because I think this area especially, it's important to take a look at night views, because so much of this is very moody, and now we've got this green everywhere. And when you go inside, this feels like a witch's house. I don't know. I know Chacho did a great job with his. It just feels gnarly in here. Like something bad is happening. Maybe it's a spider den. That's why it's called Spider's Brew. You have drank the poison Spider's Brew, and now you go on this topsy-turvy ride. I think that's kind of how we're going to tie it in. It almost feels Alice in Wonderland-y, which I guess I could have leaned into. I did a quick change on the roof here. I think that it looks even more like a spider now. I'm actually pretty pumped. I wish I could have hidden this better. the silly teacup. I'm really glad that we'll be able to control, at least on the teacup ride it looks like, we'll be able to control what props are attached to the thing in the middle. That'll help a lot to make these far more customizable in the sequel. But anyway, just a little bit of lighting. That green eerie glow with little pops of warm from those fairy lights. I had to scooch it away a little bit from the coaster because it was really close to hitting the coaster, or the coaster was close to hitting it, and we didn't want that to happen. Still have to find a place for my successor. Not quite sure where we're going to put that yet. So we're going to have one more update, and we're going to make the last, potentially, for me at least, the last edition, the last ride edition to Conifer Slopes, which is a big thing to say. So I want to take you on a little journey with that and show you what that looks like. And then also, I want to show you the changes I made in the previous episode, 2 episodes ago. I promised y'all that I was going to be naming some things based on your suggestions, and I want to show that to you. But first, we have to finish up what we've been working on in this area, and then we'll hop over there. So let's take one more look at where the park is currently sitting and what it currently looks like. All right, so just a few changes with this area before I show you the new addition. We moved the Spider's Brew back a bit, closer to the very back of the turnaround here, and that allowed me to squeeze in the Sips of Fae building right here, which I really like. We can put a couple trees back in here, and we can make this all thick and lush so that this kind of just almost gets lost. And I think it'll be really good right here by the exit of the teacup ride. So maybe it'll sell tea. Oh, that'd be perfect. But yeah, so I really like the way this is looking. And then here's what I was spending my time on. This was a bear, but you'll see why in probably the next episode. There's been hints. I haven't done a good job of getting rid of it, but there's a big old attraction that's going to sit right here, and the reason this looks so funky is because I needed to weave into the other attraction. So we have ourselves our second water ride. The reason I did this, well, twofold. Reason number one, the original Conifer Slopes back in RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, right before the park got too big, before it wouldn't open anymore, I had a log flume in it. And in this area, it was going to be a spooky woods area, and I had a log flume. And I really wanted that again, and this was the only place that would logically make sense because I want to cap the park off. This is the park. You can see this little black line right here. Basically, this is the end of the park. So I didn't want to go past it, had to be really careful. And then I also wanted to have a nice plaza area here so that we could get a queue through and everything. So yeah, this is what I came up with. And I think we're going to have like a tunnel area, a cave area, especially over here, maybe, or over here, and have like some spooky scenes. That'd be fun. And I think maybe the idea is you escape the Feywild for a minute, and then it brings you back in. I don't know, some sort of water weird. I'll find something that lives in the water. If you are familiar with Feywild lore, and you know of something that like might live in the water to be, nefarious, that'd be pretty cool. So give me your suggestions. But yeah, this is just bare bones. We are going to custom curb some of it, not all of it. And I think I might actually do a live stream of that. We can do some detailing live streaming, kind of like what Shanti's been doing with Azuri and Pinewood Hills. I love hanging out. I think he does it on Saturdays. It's fun to sit there and hang out with people while we do some mundane Planet Coaster stuff that doesn't make for good videos. Because we are running out of things to do. If this is the last major attraction in the park, well, we're going to have a lot of cleanup to do before we're ready. So this is where so now you can see the entirety of the Mourning Woods area. This is going to be the Mourning Woods area. It's going to have a coaster, a water ride, 2 flats, and a couple shops. We'll add another shop. There's another shop idea I want in here to be like a gift shop, or back here. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. That's going to be the vibe of the Feywild area. It came together quicker than I thought. Kind of hit the groove. I'm excited. But now I promised you that we would take a look over here. So let's jump back down into this area. Ooh, as we glitch and get all stuttery, there's a good chance I'm going to hit an autosave. And if that happens, I'll have to do a hard cut because my autosave takes some time. Actually, it'd be better to come in from Crimson Canyon. Okay, first things first. We now have a ride name for the Troika. Special shout out to Bob. He was the first one, but he wasn't the only one, to suggest the name Thresher for this ride, and I just think that's too great. So I went ahead and I made a custom sign. I used some TMTK font, This is TMTK. And just a cute little simple sign named Thresher. And it says sponsored by Bob because Bob gave me the suggestion. So thank you, Bob. And we're going to swing around this way. And now we have the Freshwater Springs Splash Pads and Rope Course. And that was sponsored by Matthew Johnson. Big shout to your suggestion. I thought it was perfect. So we went ahead and we did that as well. And then there's one more big change in this area. And that big change was suggested by Magic Man 1617, suggested that this should be a covered area for parents to sit and take a load off while their kids play in the splash pad, while their kids do the rope course. And I just loved those ideas so much that I needed to come in here and put them in there. And now, just like we did in Brazos Square, if you watch that series, if you came up with a name, we went ahead and we gave you a sponsorship. And you can see under here, we added some TMTK fans, which I think add a lot to the area. They give a bit of movement in an otherwise pretty still area, so that's good. I like that a lot. And just, I think this sign fits so nicely. Good shout, good shout. And then, of course, our Thresher sign. And I went ahead and added some hay bales and this little hay cart. I thought that was cute, just to pump up the theme ever so slightly without getting too themed. And now that just puts a big old done stamp on this little area, and I think it's fantastic. So let's do a quick zoom out and let's remind ourselves. Let's go take a look at, let's end where we started. Man, this is a beefy sode. We got a lot done in this episode. We are going to jump over here to the Conifer Cruisers. And we're going to take ourselves a nice, soothing ride through the gardens of Conifer Cruisers made by my good friend Redline. And that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. So if you enjoyed, hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Leave some feedback below what your thoughts are in this episode. And with all that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see all of you for the next episode of Conifer Slopes. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.